Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Bandhu mui savadhanamati Bandhu mui savadhanamati Jahara prasade bhai bhavaturiya jai Jahara Krishna prapti hoi jaha hoiti Krishna prapti hoi jaha hoiti Guru mukha padma vakya chititi koriya kya Guru mukha padma vakya Guru mukha padma vakya chititi koriya kya Guru mukha Anakuri ho mani asha Anakuri ho mani asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Je prasade pure sarva asha Je prasade pure sarva asha Je prasade pure sarva asha Chakudan dilo je jambi jambi Prabhu se Chakudan dilo je jame jame Prabhu se Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Abidya Vinasha Jate Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Abidya Vinasha Jate Vede Gai Jaha Racharito Vede Gai Jaha Racharito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lukira Divana Lokanath Lukira Divana Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya Diho Muri Padachaya Prabhu Korodoya Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya Diho Muri Padachaya Ebejas Gusutri Bhuvana Ebejas Gusutri Bhuvana Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Lokana Lukira Divana Prabhupada Lukira Divana Ha ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya Prabhu Koro Ha ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya Prabhu Koro Doya Aivedas Gusudri Bhuvana Aivedas Gusudri Bhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Namaste Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Yasomati Nandana Brajo Baro Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Yasomati Nandana Brajo Baro Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Kaliyadamona Vidhana Kaliyadamona Vidhana Kaliyadamona Vidhana Kaliyadamona Yasomati Nandana Brajo Baro Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Kaliyadamona Vidhana Kaliyadamona Vidhana Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa Amala Harina Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa Amala Harina Vipina Purandara Nabina Nagara Bura Bamshi Vadana Suvasha Vipina Purandara Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bora Vam Shivadhana Suvasha Braja Jana Palana Surakula Nashana Braja Jana Palana Surakula Nashana Nanda Godhana Rakhuwala Nanda Godhana Rakhuwala Nanda Godhana Rakhuwala Nanda Godhana Rakhuwala Govinda Madhava Navanita Tashkara Govinda Madhava Govinda Madhava Navanita Tashkara Govinda Madhava Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarashika Kripa Moya Yamuna Rasarashika Kripa Moya Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarashika Kripa Moya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vakati Vinodashraya Vakati Vinodashraya Vakati Vinodashraya Vakati Vinodashraya Amalahanina Mamiya Vilasa Govinda Madhava Vrindavana Natabara Govinda Madhava Govinda Madhava Navanita Tashkara Govinda Madhava Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama. Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe, Jayo Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe, Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gloria Premanande. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivraja Kacharya Sutra Sata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavandam Ki Shri Maya Purnavadidam Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Shri Mati Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Samavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar Ki Jai, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai, Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai, Gaura Premanande. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shri, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So these are reading from some letters Prabhupada wrote. I thought if people were thinking about their New Year's resolutions, here are some ideas from Prabhupada. Yes, he said, reading my books will help you. Philosophy must be there. But if you do not also apply the philosophy by participating in all temple affairs like rising early, attending Mangalarti, performing devotional service, then simply learning the philosophy will have no effect. Concerning how to induce the grahastas to take part in Krishna consciousness activities rather than in activities of Maya, it is very simple. They should attend the temple program very rigidly. Morning arti classes, Sankirtan. We have given houses with the purpose to execute devotional service exactly like the brahmacharis and sannyasis. Otherwise, why purchase houses near the temple? The whole idea is to live near the temple and take advantage of the temple program. Yeah, you'd think I wrote this myself, but I didn't. The householding community in Los Angeles or any of our temples is not meant to be independent from the temple program. I know you have multifarious and complicated affairs to manage in our Los Angeles center, and I know you are doing your best there. Just pray to Krishna to give you intelligence how to manage it all. The most important thing is that we must be ideal Krishna-conscious persons, and then we can attract others. This means chanting, reading my books, going on Sankirtan, following the regulative principles, and worshiping the deity. Whoever takes part in these things, no matter what he has done of sinful activities before, will automatically advance in spiritual realization. This is the simple process, and if we follow it, we will become ideal. Otherwise, we will become victims of women and wealth. What page? It doesn't matter what page it is. It's a letter to somebody in 1974. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, here's what's happening. First of all, the book distribution marathon is continuing to the very last minute, so anyone who has not yet participated in picking up books to distribute or giving a donation so others can distribute the books for you, you can still do it. It's not too late. We even had donations coming in yesterday online. So you go to our homepage or our newsletter that came out today, and you can do it there. We're going to read the results on Thursday the 1st because the newsletter had written that. So on Thursday morning the 1st, everyone who has participated in any way, hopefully we've remembered everyone, will announce their name to Srila Prabhupada for his pleasure. And I'm sure it gives him great pleasure to hear this. And then tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so we have a celebration or, a bhajans continuing in the temple room from 6:30 p.m. till midnight. And you can just come in at any point in time and participate and see Radhe Shyam, make your resolutions and your prayers. We even have like a resolutions box up here where you can write down your promise to Radhe Shyam, and it'll be offered to the deities throughout the night. It's a Ekadasi day, so we'll have some light prasadam served throughout the evening as well. And there's a homa at 8 p.m. Everyone is invited to participate in that. Prangovinda Prabhu will give a lecture at 10 p.m. on how to make New Year's resolutions, and then the kirtans continue, and there's an artik at midnight. There's also a Harinam event in Gainesville Wednesday night. It goes from 9:30 till 11:30, and it's right opposite the Hippodrome Theater, downtown Gainesville, and I think the directions are in the newsletter. If you don't get the temple newsletter and you'd like to, call the office and we'll make sure you get it. Friday is another Harinam event that's in Jacksonville. We leave here at about 11:15 a.m. The Harinam starts at 1, it goes till 3, and then there is prasadam at the home of Godruma and Vishnu Priya directly following the Harinam. Also, I want to say a quick thank you to Keshi Hunta and his men's group. I didn't see everybody in the group, so I'll ask him to send me a list, but they came out yesterday and they painted the whole cow pen and the shade cover over it. It looks really nice, and it really fits in with everything on the property now, so thank you to them for that. Okay, these are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shishi Radha Sham Sundar Akuti Prabhu, Chota Radha Sham Sundar Lakshmi Moni Prabhu, Shri Krishna Balaram, Astasaki Prabhu, Chota Krishna Balaram, Gandharvika Prabhu, Shishi Gornitai, Raghunath Prabhu, Chota Gornitai, Ekadasi Vrata Prabhu, Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev, Avaduta Nitai Prabhu, and Jamastami Prabhu is giving class today.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Yeah, what, 226 is it? Yeah. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashto Tarasata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashto Tarasata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Sagaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dhamma Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dhamma Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dhamma Ki Jai. Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Sankirtan Jagna Ki Jai. Brihat Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. The Transcendental Lordship Shri Shri Gorni Tai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balarama Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar Ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gaur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the 10th canto, 58th chapter. Chapter is entitled Krishna Marries 5 Princesses. We're covering today text 2 through 6. So we'll just do the first one responsively, I guess, and then I'll cover the rest of them. Drisva Tam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akileshwaram Utastur Yugapad Viraha Prana Mukyam Ivagatam Drisvatam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akileshwaram Utastur Yugapad Viraha Prana Mukyam Ivagatam Drisvatam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akileshwaram Utastur Yugapad Viraha Pranamukyam Avagatam Drisvatam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akileshwaram Utastur Yugapad Viraha Pranamukyam Ivagatam. Please chant. Vaishnavis? Visvatam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akaleshwaram Utashtur Yugapad Viraha Pranamukyam Ivagatam Visvatam Agatam Partha Mukundam Akileshwaram Utashtur Yugapad Viraha Panamukyam ivagatam. Drisva, seen. Tam, him. Agatam, arrived. Partha, the sons of Pritha. Kunti. Mukundam, Krishna. Akila, of everything. Ishvaram, the Lord. Utashtu, they stood up. Yugapat, all at once. Viraha, heroes. Prana, the senses. Mukyam, their chief, the vital air. Eva, as. Agatam, returned. Translation and purport by the BBT team. When the Pandavas saw that Lord Mukunda had arrived, those heroic sons of Pritha all stood up at once, like the senses responding to the return of the life air. Please repeat. When the Pandavas saw that Lord Mukunda had arrived, those heroic sons of Pritha all stood up at once, like the senses responding to the return of the life air. Purport. The metaphor used here is quite poetic. When a person is unconscious, the senses do not function. But when consciousness returns to the body, all the senses spring to life at once and begin functioning. Similarly, the Pandavas all stood up at once, enlivened to receive their Lord, Sri Krishna. Okay, so now we'll chant in unison the remaining. Well, how should I do this? Maybe I should have gone through all the Sanskrit and the translations first and then go back and read the purports? Or anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. So we'll just chant this in unison. We'll do the translation purports and just keep going. Parishvajya chutam viraha anga sangha hatanasa sanuraga smitam bhaktram Diksha Tasha Maram Yalu. The heroes embraced Lord Achyuta, and the touch of his body freed them of sin. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that since the Pandavas were never sinful, the term Enasa here refers to the suffering caused by separation from Krishna. That unhappiness was now vanquished by the Lord's return. Text 4. Yudhishthirasya bhimasya kritva pada bhivandanam falgunam pariprapyata yamabhyam chadivandita. After the Lord bowed down at the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima and firmly embraced Arjuna, he accepted obeisances from the twin brothers, Nakula and Sahadev. Purport. Externally, Krishna was the Pandavas' cousin, and their relationship was just like that between cousin brothers. Because Yudhishthira and Bhima were externally senior to Krishna, the Lord bowed down at their feet, whereas he embraced his peer Arjuna and accepted obeisances from the younger brothers Nakula and Sahadev. Sometimes inexperienced devotees think it is sinful to honor or bow down to an elder brother in Krishna consciousness. It's a very unusual statement. We'll talk about this. Hopefully some of you've got some insight into how it's phrased, but real unique. But from Lord Krishna's example, here we may conclude that offering all respects to a senior brother in Krishna consciousness is not sinful. Okay, text 5. Paramasan asani Krishna Krishnam ananyata nabodha vitita kinchit chanaya eta bhyavandata. Faultless Draupadi, the Pandava's newly married wife, slowly and somewhat timidly approached Lord Krishna, who sat on an exalted seat, and offered him her obeisances. Purport. Srimati Draupadi was so devoted to Krishna that she herself was called Krishna, which is the feminine form of the name. And Arjuna was also called Krishna because of his devotion to the Lord. Similarly, the devotees of the modern Krishna consciousness movement are often called the Krishnas. So it appears that the custom of addressing Krishna's devotees by his name has a long history. Text 6. Tataiva satyaki partai pujitas chandita ishasha danasana punjita paryupasata. Satyaki also accepted a seat of honor after receiving worship and welcome from the Pandavas, and the Lord's other companions, being duly honored, sat down in various places. Om Gyanatimarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Umnitam Gena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, there are oftentimes many instructions that we can garner from a particular passage. So what prominent aspect of our philosophy can we gather from these 4 verses? What kind of strikes me is of course, the 10th canto, the smiling face of the Lord. It's all about Krishna's relationships with his devotees. And, it oftentimes is quite difficult to understand, what's actually going on. And that's not unusual. There's quite a few references that describe this difficulty, the degree of difficulty that devotees experience, and trying to understand the pastimes of the Lord. There's one reference, the Chatur Shloki and the preceding 2 verses are included in how do you say it? Kind of like transplanted into Adi Leela 1. And in Adi Leela 1, text 52 is kind of an introductory to the Chatur Shloki. This is, I have to give credit where credit's due. This is something that Madame Mohan enlightened me, this reference. And, Prabhupada oftentimes when he takes a Bhagavatam verse and he puts it into Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a fairly common occurrence, Krishnadas Kaviraj drew heavily from the Bhagavatam in CC. Prabhupada will put a different flavor into it. And so he did this in Adi 52. There's just, from the purporting, I'm just going to extract some essential points that, kind of have a bearing on what we're covering today. His qualities, and this next phrase is really significant, as the responsive personality to pure devotees, and as impersonal Brahman to dry speculators. And I'm skipping a few words, and I said, are mysteries. Okay? And then later on, in the purport, Prabhupada says, we cannot discover the mysteries of the Lord by our mundane endeavors. These mysteries are gradually disclosed to the various grades of devotees in proportion to the gradual development of their service attitude. So in other words, impersonalists who depend upon the strength of their poor fund of knowledge and morbid, Prabhupada uses a powerful adjective here, speculative habits, without submission and service in the forms of hearing and chanting, and the others mentioned above, cannot penetrate to the mysterious region of transcendence, where the supreme truth is a transcendental person. So really, from the standpoint of, what our subtle bodies, our intelligence are capable of understanding the absolute truth. Now, absolute truth, that's defined by Srila Vyasadeva in the first verse of the Bhagavatam, is basically everything that we see, everything that there is, that's the absolute truth. Simultaneously one and different. But, to conceive of that absolute truth as being a person is really not possible, with our mundane faculties. Not possible to do that. So, how is it done? Tesham sadata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dami buddhiyogam tam gyanamam upayanti te. So it's by constant devotion, then Krishna gives us the intelligence by which to understand Him and come to Him. So to understand Krishna as a person, and a responsive person at that, what does that mean by responsive? It means that he's reciprocatory. He has relationship with his devotees. As his devotees love him, he loves his devotees. Now, what I've just said, and not just what I've said, but what I've also read from Prabhupada, Adi 152 purport, is very aptly summarized in a very famous verse from the prayers of Lord Brahma. And when Pushkar gave his CC class on Saturday, he cited this verse. And this is 10:14:3. Gyane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti san mukaritam bhavadiyavartam. Stane stita shutigatam tanuvan manobir. Ye prayasho jita jitopyasi taistri lokyam. So here Prabhupada translates this as those who, even while remaining in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge. Okay, so we're not interested in that. And with their body, words, and mind, offer all respects to the descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordships. Although otherwise you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So, conquering the Lord. I mean, not if you take the connotations of that from the material realm, that's quite mysterious too. How can you conquer the Supreme Lord? So we get some help in understanding this in the purporting of the Bhagavatam. This is the BBT team. Actually, it's not that translation is not coming from Prabhupada. That's also the BBT team. So this is, we're citing the purport cites Sanatana Goswami. So this Jita, this this conquering, first Sanatana Goswami refers to, the body, words, and mind of the devotee. So they touch the Lord's lotus feet, they call to Him with their words, they attain His direct audience with their mind. They think about Him all the time. So that's the activity of the devotee. In the case of the non-devotee, it's then ajita is relevant because he can't conquer with his bodily strength, his verbal expertise, or mental power. Okay, so but then what's very significant in the context of this pastime is that conquered, how it refers to Krishna's body, mind, and words. So Krishna is conquered because he always wants to be by the side of his devotees. And he's always glorifying his devotee, chants the glories of his devotees with his words. And he's always thinking of the devotees. So this is this responsiveness, this reciprocation. Now, let's get some perspective on this pastime from a historical standpoint, or at least from the storyline. Now, if we recall, Akrura brought Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, and then when they entered Mathura, then immediately Akrura wanted Krishna and Balaram to come and visit him in his home. Okay, but Krishna said, no, later, I got important things to do. What was that important thing? He had to kill Kamsa. So that took place, and then let's see what happened after that. Then there was they retrieved the son of Sandipani Muni, returned him, and then, let's see, then Uddhava went to Vrindavan, and then the song of the bumblebee, and then chapter 48 is Krishna pleases his devotees. And he went to Kubja's home, and then he went to Akrura's home. Now, Akrura was kind of in like, I want my home purified. It was kind of like, a little bit like, could we say Hindu bhav? Something like that, where I need your blessings, that kind of thing. So, but at the end, then Krishna wanted something from Akrura. He wanted him to do some service. What was that service? This kind of connects with Krishna's always thinking about his devotees. Because the Pandavas, their father, Pandu, died at a very early age, when they were very young. And Kunti and the Pandavas were then entrusted to the so-called care of Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra not only was physically blind, but blind in terms of his affection to his rascal son Duryodhana, and also blind to the exalted stature of the Pandavas. And so, out of this concern, Krishna sent Akrura to Hastinapur to assess the situation, to see, really how, the mood of Dhritarashtra, and how the Pandavas were faring under these very challenging circumstances, this environment which was not very favorable. So that's an indication, so then of, the kind of the mindset, how Krishna is conquered by the affection of his devotees. And then we skip to the previous chapter, the grand finale of the Shamataka jewel pastime. And there is a description, of how the Pandavas were moved into a house of lac, and then the house was set on fire by the rascal, Duryodhana and company, and it's appeared, the rumor was spread all over that the Pandavas had expired. And so everyone was, all of the Kurus favorable to the Pandavas, were bereaving. And Krishna, he knew that they were still there, but he went and joined, all of his relatives to participate in this bereavement. Again, an indication of this responsiveness. And then, after killing Satadhanva, Krishna returned to Dwarka. Am I getting this right now? Yeah. And then, the rumor went out that actually the Pandavas were still alive. They were incognito for a while, and then they came back in. So again, Krishna goes over to greet them, and that's where we are today. So this conquering of Krishna by his devotee, and this fixation and this meditation upon the devotee and their well-being is what's being featured here, in this pastime. So, how many of you have ever fainted? Please raise your hand. Okay, we've got one fainter, we've got two fainters. 3, okay. One time when I was 14 years old, I was playing high school football, and I was, I don't know how many of you are aware of the football, but I was playing safety, defensive back, and there was the opponent team, the man was running around the end, the fullback was doing an end run, and I tackled him and hit him with my, I smashed him, but it knocked me out. And I remember I woke up in the hospital, and I had smelling salts there, and it was like such a phenomenal experience to just be completely out cold, and then to have that consciousness return, right? I mean, you fainters, it's a unique experience. So it was like I was kind of coming back from the dead. It was a little bit like that. So you can appreciate, this analogy that's being given here, the level of affection, the attachment that the Pandavas felt for Krishna. This is, a way of expressing it, kind of the literary devices, of Srila Vyasadeva to drive this point home. And then in the next verse, the heroes embraced Lord Achyuta. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. So again, this is reciprocation. Not the smiling face of the Lord. I mean, what would it be like in our lives if at any time we wanted, we could experience the smiling face of the Lord? How would that impact us? It'd be pretty powerful, but actually, we do have that facility. I mean, we can come practically any time, within reason, and experience the darshan of the smiling face of the Lord, through his Archa Vigraha, fully empowered manifestation of Krishna. And, according to our consciousness, we can experience powerful reciprocation. And then we have the smiling face of the Lord, in his, Krishna comes himself in the Bhagavatam. And so this is another way we can access this, powerful reciprocation. But again, it depends on our consciousness and our as I read from Adi 1.52, the service attitude that we've developed. In other words, if we're thinking ourselves the center of the universe, which is the kind of the mindset of someone in material consciousness, then that smiling face doesn't really mean anything to us. It's not really something that we can very much appreciate. There's 11.237, a very nice verse that describes this center of the universe-ness. Vayam duti yabi niveshata shad ishadi petasha viparyo smiti tanmaya yato buddha abhajetan bhaktyayaka yesham gurudeva tatma. So fear overcomes the living entity when he misidentifies himself as this body. And this is orchestrated by the external energy of the Lord, this misidentification, this illusion. And in this condition, Prabhupada, he quotes this verse in CC, and he describes viparyo smiti as, in the word-for-word translation, he says it's a role reversal. Rather than seeing oneself as Krishna's servant, one becomes Krishna's competitor. That's essentially what takes place. We're the center of the universe, everything in the universe, all of these sense objects are meant for my pleasure, and we completely forget about our relationship with Krishna. So then when one actually understands the abyss that he's fallen into, the quagmire of illusion that's covered him, then what does he do? He takes shelter of a spiritual master and accepts him as his worshipable deity, renders service, engages in pure devotional service to reverse the role reversal. And when one is situated in, there's a developed service attitude, then that smiling face really smiles in our heart. We really feel it. We really experience that. Same thing with the Bhagavatam. So there's a certain adhikar that comes. It's not just like Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te gyanam ganinas tattvadarshana. So Bhagavad Gita 4:34, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquiring from him. So reading is a form of inquiry, and render service unto him. Then the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because you've seen the truth. So that service mood, it undoes this role reversal. But that service also, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, these are all angas, of devotional service. So these Shravanam, Kirtanam are the two most important, but on our level of development, practical service of pushing on Prabhupada's mission is essential, for any kind of this reversing the role reversal. It's absolutely essential that takes place. So, oh my gosh, look at the clock. Okay, so let me just deal with one last aspect. This is we were all kind of, got a little kick out of this expression here. Where am I? Okay. This sometimes inexperienced devotees think it is sinful to honor or bow down to an elder brother in Krishna consciousness. But from Lord Krishna's example, here we may conclude that offering all respects to a senior brother in Krishna consciousness is not sinful. I guess what I would what comes to my mind, why he's using the word sinful, because it's exactly with someone in material consciousness or in a very neophyte level, it's the worst. It's the last thing you'd want to do, right? I mean, for someone that's very pious and advanced in Krishna consciousness, the last thing you want to do is commit sinful activity. So for someone on a neophyte level, then that's, kind of the level of consciousness that we're in. Rather than honoring and respecting and loving a more advanced devotee, there's an enviousness that will tend to manifest in the heart. So it's unique statement here, but it also stresses, like in chapter 4 of Antya Lila, there's this whole pastime where Sanatana Goswami travels from Vrindavan to Puri to visit Mahaprabhu, and in the beginning of this, Mahaprabhu asks in this pastime when he comes there. Of course, when he's on his way, he goes through Jharkhand forest, and he gets infected with some kind of like a skin disease. He's itching and oozing all over the place. But Mahaprabhu asked him to come and meet him midday. At I can't think of that. Is it Kameshwar Tota, the Lord Shiva? Kameshwar Tota, I think that's Lord Shiva's garden. And so when he comes, he goes kind of the long way, and he walks, because it's midday, and he walks on the beach, sizzles his feet. I've walked on the beach in Puri in the middle of summer sometimes, and my God, it's so hot, you can't stand it, And so he walked that way, and then Lord Chaitanya inquired from him, well, how did you get here? And then he told him how he came, and he said, why didn't you go by the temple? Because that's a shortcut. And he expressed, because he, worked for the Muslims, that out of etiquette, he didn't want to pass the Sringadwara gate because he didn't want any of the pujaris to be contaminated by seeing him or touching him. So he went this long way. So this is very pleasing to Lord Chaitanya, and he actually, he said that it's a characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. So, and why is that? Why is that so much stressed? I mean, in the next verse, Lord Chaitanya describes.
It's not just that he took extra steps, but his feet were terribly burned.
Yeah, they had blisters in them. Right, so he went to all ends to do this, and it was very pleasing to Lord Chaitanya. So why is it that Vaishnava etiquette is so much emphasized? If we look at the trajectory of advancement that one goes through, from Kanishta Vaishnava to Madhyama Vaishnava to Uttama Vaishnava, there's a transformation that takes place. Not only does one, he moves out of the center of the universe, Krishna comes into the center of the universe, but there's an increased level of respect in his vision and love for other jivas and compassion. You look at 11:247, kind of going in reverse, and then 45 and 46. 47 describes the consciousness of the Kanishta, still kind of center of the universe mentality, although it's still an exalted position. The Madhyama, his focus is, this loving respect that he offers to others. Whether it's the, a peer, and then Tad Adineshu Maitri, or whether it's Balisheshu Kripa, he's helping those that are ignorant but innocent. Or even there's compassion for the Dvisatsu that he rejects and that he neglects, because if he gets involved with him, he preaches to him and just implicates the person more because they'll become offensive. So there's even compassion and respect, on that level. So that's the trajectory of advancement. These are the qualities that start manifesting as one progresses in Krishna consciousness. So very, very important, this whole aspect of Vaishnava etiquette. It supports us in our Krishna conscious development. And, in the next verse, Lord Chaitanya, in instructing Sanatana Goswami, said, one who fails to do this meets with inauspicity in this life and the next, when he fails to observe etiquette. So it wreaks havoc in our spiritual life if we don't do that. Okay, I'm going to stop here, and maybe there's some questions or comments. Maharaj?
Hare Krishna. I hate to rain on someone's parade or take the wind out of someone's sails or something like that. But it's very sublime to always look at the Siddhanta, always look at the Vaishnava conclusion of things. And at the same time, I have to confess that when I was reading that purport, I couldn't help but think in terms of some
purport about Vaishnava etiquette?
Yeah, about it's okay to offer full respect to a senior godbrother, which is certainly true. But at the same time, the etiquette has to be rounded out as well. It can't be forced or artificially exaggerated. These purports were written, I believe, still during the zonal acharya phase of ISKCON's socio-political history.
Yeah.
So these are just relative considerations. You're quite proper in emphasizing the very sweet Vaishnava conclusion that Trinada pi sunichana, that Vaishnava offers respect even to the ant. But there were, those of us who have been around for a number of decades, we struggled through that period where, and I'm not saying this is what motivated the purport and there was an agenda or something like that, but we can't help but see it colored with a certain phase of our ISKCON history where we had to learn that yes, respect should be given, but it can't become institutionalized, forced, or exaggerated. I won't go into the details, but I'm sure we have some very vivid episodes and scenes come to mind where we were almost coerced into offering a almost fanatical kind of respect because a godbrother had a superior position.
Well,
so that's also there to be, kind of have a balanced sense of the thing.
Well, one thing is that there was a neglect of etiquette in dealing with the godbrothers. It was like there might have been some forced etiquette, but just in doing that, because it was inappropriate, that the godbrothers basically were, in some ways, turned into disciples, and that level of respect was demanded, and so another point that occurs to me is the essence of Vaishnava etiquette is sensitivity and a vehicle for expression of affection, for expressing affection. It's not, institutional efficacy. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to kind of massage the hearts, and the relationships and deepen them. So it was misused. But there's one other quick comment on that. But on the other hand, let us say that we're have evaluated our position as being that of a Kanishta Vaishnava. I'm a Kanishta, so I don't have the natural respect or affection that would awaken at a more advanced stage of my Krishna consciousness. But still, because I'm aware of my limitations, I'm still going to try my best to be respectful, out of self-preservation, and training my subtle body to come up to the proper standard.
Yeah, in the purports to the 11th canto, the early editions that were like in small copies, there were even specific names mentioned of devotees who were performing, and they were performing glorious activities. In one sense, there was nothing wrong with it. But then, because we, what we call the Sturm und Drang, the struggle to establish a spiritual institution in the land of the Malechas and Yavanas and raise them to Vaishnavas, it's inevitable that there would be various anomalies. So then those names had to be taken out in the revised edition because they didn't endure. Of course, a devotee, Kunteya Praticanahi Name Bhakta Pranasati, but still there was, in this lifetime, there was some serious deviation, so their names had to be taken out. So anyway, these things are there. It just, maybe there's a certain pathos or a certain, I don't mean to dwell on these things, but it's like we're all those of us who've been around many years. It's like we're kind of like, in one sense, we're spiritual survivors, spiritual survivors, and I think we can kind of comfort each other a little bit and celebrate the fact that collectively, Lord Chaitanya is still keeping this movement going forward despite these details of the past. I'm sorry if I sound a little negative.
No, it's it's important to learn from our mistakes in the past. What Prabhupada he would say about failures are the pillar of success, but we have to learn from the failures. That's the key, and act upon what we learned. That's true.
These pastimes that you are reading today, it's also in the Nectar of Devotion. I don't know if you had the opportunity to look at it. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad writes that this is a constitutional position in responding or in the relationship between the Lord and His intimate associate. Eternally, Yudhishthira Maharaj is elder brother, elder cousin of Krishna. It's not like this lila. It's eternally there. So he's always bow down to him. But Yudhishthira Maharaj is one of the few characters who had because the whole purpose of this relationship is relishment. Krishna actually relishes, and devotee is also very much enlightened and relished in that relationship. And later on, what you have read so far on this, that Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Krishna appeared there and in front of Pandavas, so he bowed down to Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhima. Both are elder to Krishna's age. Everything goes by the age in Vrindavan, in also Dwarka. And then Arjuna is equal, so he embraced Arjuna. And Nakula and Sahadev, they are junior, so they bow down to Krishna, and Krishna blessed on their head. So in that reciprocation, Draupadi also very same age. So not embraced, but equal match, mutual respect for each other. Even though she's feels always maid servant of Krishna. Later on, Yudhishthira Maharaj will cry. Rupa Goswami Pad in Nectar of Devotion writes, Yudhishthira Maharaj cries and he's lamenting and feeling so bad and he's crying, "Oh my Lord, I can't believe that. I completely forgot. I was so overwhelmed to wash your feet, to welcome you. Instead, you bow down to me and I completely forgot." And he will go in big lamentation. But that's not a sad lamentation. It's like a very nourishing. And Krishna will come and pacify. "Don't worry, it's okay, I'm here." And he will wash Krishna's feet. But eternally, both Rasa, Daisya and Vatsalya mixed in Yudhishthira Maharaj. Like Balaram has a 5, all 5 together. Shankul, Rati, they call. Rupa Goswami Pad in Nectar of Devotion gives so details. How Bhima respond and how Arjuna respond. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is responding here, not washing his feet or taking his blessing. He's feeling, "I'm elder brother, this is proper, Krishna to take my blessing, touch my feet." They're constitutionally positioned, and it's very relishment, very, very charming, attractive.
Thank you, Prabhu. Madam Mahaprabhu, and then.
I was also thinking when you read that of the early 80s, it popped into my mind. And I was also noticing how Palena Parachiyate, and in other words, there's a principle, just like Maharaj had pointed out, of mutual respect. So externally and internally, there's different things that take place. Just like Chanaka Pandit, he lived outside of the kingdom, So he didn't compromise his principle of truthfulness. So at the same time, the devotees that actually were seeing all the different events that were taking place, how you can try to, demand instead of command, respect, or if the quality is there, it automatically manifests in the truthful person. You see someone who has certain qualities, and then, so what I don't want to speak it directly, I guess, but Palena Pachite, as the time element moved on, the time element is in reality, so we can see the outcome of that situation.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.